welcome to today's lesson where we're going to be talking about how to leverage groups and LinkedIn polls to drive more leads with the content that you're creating. Now, in the previous lesson, we talked about how to create really great engaging content that elevates you as an authority, shows your expertise, shows your value, and converts readers into prospects. Now, we're going to take the content that we created in the previous lesson and we're going to start sharing it through LinkedIn polls and then through LinkedIn groups. So that's what's going to bring you a lot more traffic and get those people to be interested in hiring you for your products and services. So today we're going to talk about sharing the post and blog content in groups and how to retarget the traffic that you drive from LinkedIn from this content that you're creating and putting out there. So let's get right to it. Okay, so here we are back on the LinkedIn dashboard. So let's say that following the steps in the previous lesson, you created an amazing article and you're ready to publish it. So all you're going to do is go to your homepage, which is where we're at, and we're going to go on publish a post. So now we get to put our headline. We'll just copy and paste it into here, and then we'll copy and paste our content into here. Now to add links into your content, you just go to add link and you'll hyperlink a word. So let's say word, and then I can add my link here, hit apply, and then that's going to create an anchor text link to drive people somewhere else, like to your website or to your opt-in page for a webinar or a free ebook that you're giving out. So it's pretty simple. You definitely always want to put an image here. LinkedIn tells you the best sizes is 700 by 400 pixels. That's what's going to look best. I highly encourage that you don't leave this blank. If you don't have any images to put, or you don't have a graphic designer on staff that can just be creating images for you, a really great and quick and easy way for you to get images is to just search. So let's say I'm writing a blog post about LinkedIn, and I can just go to images, and then I want to go to settings, and I want to go to advanced search, and then I want to make sure that I'm allowed to use whatever image that I select. So free to use or share even commercially, hit advanced. So now any of these images that you see here, you're okay to use because of the licensing search. And so I actually used this one right here in one of my posts. So that's how you get around getting an image really quickly. If you don't have a designer, you can always use something like Fiverr as well to have custom images created, and it's only $5, and you can find some really great designers on there as well. So just to give you an example, I'm not gonna actually publish this. And then what you want to do is you want to add tags about your post. So let's say this post is about marketing. I want to do that, marketing and advertising. And let's say if it says anything about internet strategy. Perfect. So if this was an article about internet marketing and advertising and strategy, then I've got my 3 tags, and that's going to help put you in the correct channels for your content. So that is all you would do, and then you would either save it as you go, and then when you're ready, just hit publish, and your post is now published. So now, just because you've created a post, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a ton of traffic. Now what happens is all of your connections are going to be notified that you've published a post, and if you notice your notifications on here, you'll see all of my connections that are publishing posts, and it starts to tell you the title of it to see if it's something that is of interest to me. This is why creating an engaging headline is so important, because this is the first way that you're going to intrigue people's interest into wanting to click on you and see if that's a blog post that they want to read. And I mean, look at how much people are publishing. So it's very, very important that you really think about the headlines to make sure that you stand above all this clutter, because there's a lot of posts being made. Okay, so now that we've created our post, now we want to get additional traffic. Now there's several ways that you can do this. One thing that I sometimes do is I send an email to my list usually once a week, and I don't always sell something. You don't want to always be selling something to your list. You want to provide value, and then once in a while sell something. So when I'm providing value, what I'll do is I'll send out an email to the list and then send them to a blog post either on my website, or if I've created something on LinkedIn that I want them to see, I'll send them back to the LinkedIn post. And that's one way that you can add more eyeballs and comments and engagement to your post. The other thing that you can do is you can take this post and add it in other groups. Now remember, in a previous lesson, we actually went through all the group rules and found out which groups we can post links in and which we cannot. So those groups that allow links, that's where we're going to share this post in. And since you have an Excel sheet with that, it should be very easy for you to do so. So let me show you how to do it all with just the push of a button rather than having to go individually into each one of your groups and posting it. All right, so what I've done is I copied and pasted a post that I just recently made. I'm going to hit share. And now I'm going to hit on share again. And so now I can post this post to groups. And as I start typing the name, groups start to come up. So let's say that this particular blog post was aimed at accountants. So I can put it in accountants in practice, accounting and finance professionals, and then whatever other groups this post was for. I mean, I'm not going to do it because this is not specifically for accountants, but then you would just put that in all your groups. You'd put the title, which could be the title of your blog post, and details would be a description of the post. And so then you just hit share, and then this post is going to be automatically sent to all of the groups that you've designated in here. So if you cannot fit all your groups in here, you want to come back and you want to share this a few times so that you get it in all the groups that you want this particular post to go to. Now, one last tip about actually creating content that's going to get the most use for the groups that you're placing it in is you definitely want to write content that's specific to the group's audience. So if you notice, for example, in my case, I'm in several different types of groups. There's marketing groups, there's lawyer groups, there's accounting groups, and there's e-commerce groups because I have different target audiences I've sometimes gone after. So if, like in the accounting groups, for example, I want to post stuff in there that's going to be related to the accounting industry and how I help the accounting industry. And I've got posts that I've written in there, and that's what I've used just for those groups. Same with the attorneys and same with the other niche groups. So that's this particular post that I created. I could put that in all the marketing groups, right? So you want to be specific as to the content that you're creating, because if you're not specific to that particular group's demographic, chances are that your content won't get approved and you might even get moderated. So not only do you want to make sure that you're following the group rules, but you want to make sure that the stuff that you're posting is actually really relevant to that audience, because that's what's going to give you the best result and really get people to reach out to you. And the way that I actually found out about this strategy, this is actually how I got my first client from LinkedIn ever, because I was going into lawyer groups and posting content about how SEO can help attorneys get more clients. And then an attorney reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to talk to you about SEO services. And I was like, really? You do? That actually works. And that's when I discovered that this content strategy is really powerful when you're sharing it with prospects that could potentially need your services, and you're explaining to them how you help and what they can expect from you. So very powerful strategy, not to be ignored. And again, if you don't have the time to create the content yourself, create some yourself, share that, but also find other interesting content from other places and share that in your groups as well. And you can just share it as an update first, and then doing it the way I just showed you, post it in all the groups that way. Now, the better your content is, the more engagement you're going to get, and that's going to benefit you in the sense that LinkedIn actually sends emails either daily or weekly to the group members. And remember, when we were setting up our settings, we decided how many emails we want to get and how often from the groups that you're in, or no email at all. Well, what happens is LinkedIn's sending emails based on the latest discussions posted in the group and the most popular discussions. If your discussion remains really popular in that particular group, your discussion is being emailed out to every single group member as a popular discussion. So, in some of the groups that have, up to 1 million members, that's a really powerful email to be going out that's sharing the content that you posted if your content is in that email. So that's how you can start to drive a lot of traffic to this content and back to you, your profile and your website, or your lead magnet that you have. Now, what you also want to do is you want to retarget this audience. So here's a website that you can use to retarget the links that you post on social media. So you just take your retargeting pixel, add it here, and add your URL here, and they're going to give you a retarget link. So now the pricing is very inexpensive. Your first 100 clicks are going to be free, and then anywhere from 50 to 5,000, it's only $20. So I mean that's very little money for a lot of clicks. Now, how many clicks can you drive from blog content on LinkedIn? It really depends. I mean, we've driven several hundred clicks before, and sometimes several thousand. It just depends. But remember, I don't know if you know this or not, but the cost per click to advertise on LinkedIn is pretty expensive. I mean, you're going to be paying anywhere from $2 to $3 per click or more if you were to run a PPC campaign on LinkedIn. So when you're driving traffic for free by posting your content in groups and through LinkedIn polls, and those people are coming back to your website or to your lead magnet, and you're also using the messaging strategies to drive people to your content or your opt-in pages, then that's a lot of traffic that you can get for a fraction of the cost of what it would have been for you to advertise for this traffic on LinkedIn. I mean, we've got campaigns with just one profile, we're driving anywhere from 14 to 1,500 clicks a month from LinkedIn, and if we were paying for that traffic, that would be at least $3,000 to $5,000 for those amount of clicks, and we're paying nowhere near that. So the stuff that I'm teaching you is going to save you a lot of money in the long run from getting this very high value traffic that you can find on LinkedIn. So what should you do next? Well, you want to publish your first post on LinkedIn polls, and then you want to share that post in the appropriate groups that will allow the links, and the groups where that post is actually for that particular target audience. And you want to retarget your traffic using the Retarget Links website that I just sent you. Make sure that you download the workbooks to this lesson because it has the link to that company in there, as well as other resources so it can help you taking action for this lesson. And then also you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of your new Pulse post approved in a group so that you can earn your badge. One thing to note, in the next few lessons, we're going to be talking about how to leverage discussions in groups and how to network with people that way as well. You want to make sure that your content is being actually approved in LinkedIn groups. If your content is not being approved in a group, then you might as well just leave that group and go somewhere else where it is being approved. And sometimes, group owners, that they get busy, they don't have time to moderate the group, and if that happens, that's probably a group you should be leaving and moving into a group that's better managed. So thanks so much for watching. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about leveraging discussions to drive leads, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Bye-bye.